Hello guys, Petito Plays here, today with another video. I bring you the 10th legend in this video series, which is Lucian Purifier, the legend for Fury and Body, from set number 2 for Riftbound Spiritforged. So, today we are talking about Lucian. His ability is your equipment each give assault. So basically you wanna be playing aggressively with lots of equipment, and this is basically a deck that is made to play in traditional set 1 Conquer style, even though if you've played a bit of set 2 you know that there are decks that wanna go late game and wanna play slow and play big stuff. This deck is not very much about that, it's more about scoring twice early on and then trying to steal wins. So let's go over how this deck wants to play and functions generally. So I'm using a very body oriented build, so I'm playing 8 body runes and only 4 fury. In playtests, I've noticed that sometimes you wanna pay equip costs with Fury, so you might want one more instead of this split like 5 to 7. But let's go over now the battlefields. We have Sunken Temple. When you conquer here with 1 or more mighty units, you may pay 1 to draw 1. Pretty standard, especially on a deck that wants to equip stuff to the units and make them big. Then we have the Arena's Greatest, which is ideal for an aggressive deck, and then River's Row just to save your units. Then first things first, we have our champion unit and chosen champion. Also I included 3 copies, so we also have 2 on the deck. And it is Lucian Merciless, which costs 3 energy and has 3 might. He has Weapon Master, and it says, the first time I conquer each turn, ready me. So basically you wanna conquer, he untaps, you bring him back. You don't wanna stay on the points to hold, so you wanna conquer and get out, basically. Then we have 2 Ormog's Armor. It's just efficient, gives you the ability of playing like turn 2 a 2-drop. Turn 1 if you're on the draw, meaning you have 3 runes, you can play a 2-drop and Warmogs and put it on your 2-drop if you want. It's just very efficient. Then we have 2 Sabotage, just generally the best interaction in orange, in my opinion, because it's cheap and it goes to opponents and removing bothersome threats. And then we have X Drinker, which is 2 energy for an equipment that gives deflect, and it also gives +1 might. It's pretty good, especially because then you add to this 1 might assault 1. And so it basically makes your 2 might units being 4 when they attack. It also gives them deflect, which is pretty huge. Anyone that has played against Kaisa knows how much deflect pains removal. Then we are running 3 long swords. This is just one of the best equipment in general. I think it's very efficient. It's a 2 energy and 1 red power for a 2 might equipment with quick draw. My issue with longsword is that quick draw is kinda useless in this deck since you wanna be using it on the attack. However, there are some cases in which you wanna leave a unit on a point, and this is a cool backup equipment that you can use as interaction. So there's that. And then we have, for our 2 drops, I've chosen 3 Piltover, which also has deflect. So Potiporo with X Drinker is a Deflect 2 unit. Pretty annoying to deal with if you get these two together. Then we have Jammer, which is a new card from Spiritforged. When you play me, give a unit ganking this turn. So you can also use Lucian to conquer. He readies himself and then you play this guy and give him ganking. It's pretty good. It's just a very efficient play that you can do in this deck. And then we have Veteran Poro. Just makes sense on the deck with a lot of equipment that you wanna have creatures with Weapon Master. So you could play Warmog turn 1 and then play a Veteran Poro and equip Warmog to Veteran Poro for free, basically. It's pretty good. Then we have Relentless Pursuit, which is Lucian's signature spell. Relentless Pursuit is an action speed spell that says it costs 2 energy and a power on either of the colors of the deck's colors. And then it says move a friendly unit, you may attach an equipment with the same controller to it. This turn that unit has, when I conquer, you may move me to my base. So what this allows you to do, if you use it at action speed on your opponent's turn, is playing a bit like Hide the Wind, in which you can move a unit to another battlefield, and then if you score a point on your opponent's turn, you can move it back, which is insane. This card gives you so much flexibility. On your turn, it allows you to do a lot of other things, but because you're playing it on your turn, it's not as cool. No, what I mean is, if you score conquer points on your opponent's turn, you're insanely ahead. Some people don't even know that you're allowed to do that, but yeah, Hide the Wind allowed you to do that in set 1. And Relentless Pursuit is kinda the new Hide the Wind outside of Chaos Scholars, which is amazing. It's a shame that you can only play it on Lucian's deck, but well, it is what it is. Then we have Challenge and Strike Down, basically our removals for this deck. Strike Down removes an equipment and then you can deal might, damage equal to your might to an enemy unit, and Challenge, they do damage to each other. The thing with Challenge is the action speed and the reduced cost. But Strike Down allows you to do some other things that Challenge doesn't. Basically, there's a rule that is to equip something to another unit. The equipment must be unequipped. You cannot pass around equipment from one unit to the other. So yeah, there's that. So you can use this to unattach an equipment and then equip it to another unit, which is pretty cool. Then we have First Mate, just 1. Maybe we could argue to go to 2, but the thing is, most of the times you wanna spend your second. If you have 3 energy, you wanna play Lucian, basically. But First Mate allows you to untap immediately with some of your units, so maybe you wanna run a little bit more First Mates. Then we have Bone Shiver, which I think is one of the best equipment in this set. It's 3 energy for a +2 might. When I conquer, channel 1 Rune Exhausted. The equip cost is a little bit higher. Even with Weapon Master you have to pay an energy. But it's still pretty good. It allows your units to become mighty. It then gives you runes back, because this deck is, as you see now, very power heavy, especially on your removal all cost power, some of equipment cost power, and then your other champions, the late game champions, also cost power, and this refunds you basically for conquering, which is what you want to be doing here. Notice also that 2 might also makes your 2-drops be mighty when they attack, because this also gets Assault 1 because of your Legend ability. So your 2-drop goes from 2 might to 5. Then we have 2 Primal Strength. I like this card a lot. It acts as removal, and it's interaction that you can use on your opponent's turn. The thing is, I don't know if we shouldn't just swap this for more equipment. I think sometimes the deck is a bit low on equipment, even though we are running 8 pieces of equipment, which should always give you 1 per game, with mulligans and stuff. But even then, I don't know, might be a little bit low on equipment. Equipment is always a difficult thing to balance, because you don't want to have too many, because you need units to equip the equipment to, but you also don't want to miss equipment if you need it. Then we have Kai'Sa Survivor, we have 3 copies here. It's basically Kai'Sa and Jax are the ways in which you draw cards in this deck. The deck doesn't have any draw power besides if you run these 2 guys. So Kai'Sa is When I Conquer, draw 1, and Jax, Unrelenting, as Weapon Master, and when you attach any equipment to me, you may pay 1 to draw 1. You can equip multiple equipment. I've seen this doubt in the comments, I think in another video. The rules allow you to put multiple equipment on the same unit, so you can use Jax to draw many cards if you just keep equipping stuff to Jax and make it huge. And then we have Darius, Trifarian. It's just a generally good card. It's pretty good with the Warmogs and other cheap equipment. And then we have Yone, Blade Master, which is also a new card from Spiritforged. Yone is a 5 energy and 1 orange power for a 5 might unit with Weapon Master, and when I conquer an open battlefield, deal damage equal to my might to an enemy unit in a base. I'ma be honest, guys, it's very hard in this point of the game to conquer empty enemy battlefields. However, if you happen to do this, it's amazing. This is also pretty good if you combine it with Relentless Pursuit, because Relentless Pursuit, it's what makes you able to catch your opponent off guard, because usually you play Yone and you have to wait a turn to attack, and that allows your opponent to see through this play. But if you have Relentless Pursuit, you can move it right away, even if he is tapped. And basically, if there's an open battlefield, you play Yone, you equip something to it, Relentless Pursuit it into a battlefield, conquer it, kill something in base, and then you can retreat, because Relentless Pursuit allows you to move back your unit when you conquer. Yeah, that's that. Then for the sideboard, so let me walk you through this sideboard. We have 2 Unwielding Spirit for against damage based removal spells. Prevent all spell and ability damage this turn at reaction speed. This is amazing against Kai'Sa. It's amazing against anything that runs Singularity. Sometimes people even board out Singularity because of this card. Then we have 1 Sabotage, just to add to the other 2 in the deck. There are some matchups in which you wanna go to your opponent's end, like Aurora matches, because if you noticed, we don't have anything against gear, even though we are on the colors of Thermoblast. Why are we not running Thermoblast? Because Thermoblast kills also all our gear. So I've chosen to take another approach, which is we are running Action Mischievous. So it's a 4 energy and 4 might unit with Weapon Master, And he also says you may pay 2 orange power as an additional cost to play me. When you play me, if you pay the additional cost, move an enemy gear to your base, you control it until I leave the battlefield. If it's an equipment, attach it to me. So, basically what action does is it steals equipment from your opponent. So if you're playing against an equipment deck, you bring action in, and if you're not playing against an equipment deck, you bring sabotage in, because you want to deal with Aurora most probably. It's the best equipment, it's the best gear besides the equipment gear. It's also good, sabotage is also good against art. There's a green gear that is not an equipment that taps for +3 might. This is also useful against that. Then we have Fiora, Peerless. Fiora is just a way for you to interact with huge units. So if you're playing against a deck like Aurora or something that just ramps into big units, Fiora says, when I attack or defend one-on-one, double my might this combat. So if you equip Fiora, she's probably gonna be at least 5 might and goes to 10, which is able to deal with like 8 might units and stuff. I think it's a very good card, but it is very matchup dependent. If your opponent is flooding the board with tokens and stuff, you don't want Fiora. So it's just here on the sideboard for the matchups in which your opponent just plays big guys. Yeah, and she's very good at that. Then we have Pharaoh's Forerunner. This is probably a card that I overlooked a lot on my review of the set. So Pharaoh's Forerunner is 6 energy and 1 red power for a 6 might unit, and he has Death-Knell play to mech 3 might mech unit tokens to your base. So basically when he dies, he creates another 6 might in your base across 2 bodies. This is absolutely insane. So Pharaoh's Forerunner basically gives you 2 more bodies whenever he dies, which is great when you're playing an equipment deck. Yeah, I don't know what to say, guys. Basically this is at least 6 might. If you give him an equipment, he goes to like 8. And then when he dies, he gives you 2 bodies, so you can attach equipment to each of those bodies and just have a huge board state. I included one on the sideboard for matchups in which you're facing a lot of removal, but even mainboard, I wouldn't be shocked to see this deck play this. We've seen some lists already from China popping up, and even Kaisa is running this guy, because it just gives you so much value. It's basically 3 bodies in 1 card. I don't think there's a way to remove this without your opponent getting the bodies anyway. So yeah, this card is insane. I'm probably gonna talk about it also in the Rumble deck, because he is also a mech, which is very relevant for Rumble. And yeah, this card is great. Good. Don't skip this card, guys. If you have the chance, pick some up. It's probably gonna see play in almost every red deck, besides maybe Rek'Sai, because Rek'Sai has another 6 drops that wants to be running. But yeah, that's about it for today's video, guys. See you guys on the next one. Bye!